Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, March 9th. We're looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And I'll tell you what, again, another little fascinating close. I couldn't have nailed this calling it, not trading it, but I called M. I said this was going to happen, and you could ask my room before it happened. I kept people out of longs. I'll go over why I felt what was going to happen happened. Again, I'll say this. You have to take M period with a grain of salt because all this is. Now, we did take back our trend day, and we did close below those 2 weekly lows. But for my money's worth, at least for now, all this was tremendously uneducated, week-long traders for 3+ hours up here that when we finally took out JK&L's low, gave it up, and the shorts piled in. I'll go over this in a minute, why I pretty much expected this to happen. Let's check the other indices. Russell never had, well, I shouldn't say never. They did have a trend day until J took it out, and it looked like J might be the afternoon pullback low until M wiped that out. So Russell ends 10 wide, and then you have the day's high and the day's low. That's it on the Russell. Triple Qs, they also had a trend day until M wiped it out. They end with no afternoon, with only 6 wide, the high and the low of the day. Nobody went out with the price probe. Now for us, we've been disrespecting, like I said, we closed weak yesterday, which again, I had no idea why we did what we did yesterday, I through M, only to take it all back today and get more. Almost got up to the daily high, got within $1 of the weekly high. Now, SPY got within $1, Russell got within about $2 of last week's highs to attempt to stop the one-time framing down. Triple Qs are still way, way below last week's high, not even including what happened late in the day. So what happened today and why did it happen? Okay, everybody said this morning that the overnight was long and they were expecting a pullback. And what I tried to explain to my room was we have to put things in context. Yes, the overnight was long, but was it really new money coming in long? Or all it was I, J, K, L, M, N, and you name it, that was short covering? Well, if that's all it was, then I'm not going to expect the inventory adjustment that a lot of people were looking for because it wasn't just new longs that were long. It was old business covering, and they continued to cover. Do you see the difference? It's night and day how you look at a market when you get educated. If you're looking for an inventory adjustment because you thought the overnight was long and you shorted below today's low opening, you better have gotten out quick once you get above the opening. Because everybody was expecting, oh, here comes the flush. No. Once we stayed above the opening, not only did we not get an inventory adjustment, we got the rest of the shorts from I through M covering. And then once we took out the day's high, we got more short covering and what else? Now the FOMO buying starts. Now they start ripping higher. We had one set of single prints. Then we finally got tired and spent 3.5 hours getting nothing for our efforts. You think these longs would know they're not getting much and get out before they get hurt. But they're uneducated traders. Maybe the person who's disliking my video is one of those uneducated traders. That's a real good possibility. Maybe if he learned and watched my video and joined my room, he would understand what takes place in the market and he wouldn't be uneducated. Now, as far as my day went, I had a good day. I only took 3 trades. Now, shame on me. You want to put a dislike? Put a dislike because I didn't put my money where my mouth was. So I took a short in A period against the overnight high the first time, which is basically against value high, K high, and it worked out nicely, the 387 puts. And then my next trade was a long in B period when we were one time framing up 387 calls. Both those trades worked out very nice. Now, I was looking to get long in C. It didn't come down enough for me to do it. There's 2 trades I regret not taking. One was in D, and I was dealing with some personal things, and I missed it. I was like, I should be long against C's low. I would have been out if we took it out. So that's one trade I missed. And then the other one I'll get to in a minute. The only other trade I took today was in J. I said, if we take out eyes low, these longs should flush. So I innovated. Right before we took out eyes low, I bought the 391 puts. And I got paid. But I didn't get paid anywhere near what I thought I should. So when we went back up and I was flat and I was happy, I told the room, in J, in K, in L, I said, look, these buyers are getting nothing. Indices are higher, values higher. We've raised the POC, so the odds are still good for possibly taking out the poor high. But I couldn't say this enough in my room. I said two things, though, that are really bothering me. There's a lot of volume that's being done up here. And they're not getting anything for it. And this did not alleviate it. We're up $8. A 40-cent pullback was not alleviating it. I said, so unless we go trend above the day's high, something is going to happen because they didn't get shook out. And more importantly, and again, this is something where traders could get educated listening to these videos. I say the POC and the afternoon pullback are rarely that close to each other. So when M period started, I said to the room, look, yeah, we can go get the poor high. I said, but something is telling me if we take out K and L's low, we're finally going to flush all these uneducated longs out and then get more uneducated shorts to pile in. And that's exactly what we did. Now, I didn't take the short. I had, I only took a couple of trades today, but I still had a very good day. Am I upset I didn't? Sure I am. Sure I am. Once M started going, I should have gotten involved. But I tell you this a million times. I'm more than happy seeing a market correctly and calling it correctly. Because guess what? If I'm calling the market correctly most of the time, I'm going to do well even if I miss a trade like this. Plain and simple. So now the big question is this all just weak longs that finally got out and shorts piling in? Or because we closed below those two weekly lows, is that going to put a little more damage to what happened today? If we didn't close below those two weekly lows, I would say I expect this market to be right back at POC yesterday and possibly get the poor high. But because we closed below it, it's going to be interesting to see where we are tomorrow morning. If the shorts now smell blood in the water, and because we're below February 8th's weekly low, do they continue to try to push? Still have a pretty nice buy tail here. Don't forget. We had pretty nice excess today on the downside. No excess up here. So don't think the market's dead in the water because of what happened in M. Don't be like that uneducated trader who continues to dislike my videos. All right, destinations for tomorrow, sports fans. One destination on the upside. So we closed, ready for this? We closed where? I'm trying to see where they have us closing. 387.17. Now, I like 9 wide. I'm not going to ignore 8 wide, but I like 9 wide. So technically, my first destination is today's high of 389.91. That's almost $4 higher. Almost $4 higher from where we closed. Then after that, we don't have anything to 390.07 daily high, and then 390.92, that weekly high. For the downside, we have today's low of 385.31. So that's still almost, not almost, yeah, it's almost $2 lower than where we closed. Then we don't have anything to 381.42. That's yesterday's low. You want to talk about destinations far and wide apart? And then we have 379.92 afternoon pullback low from March 5th. So just like I still don't think I called the market poorly yesterday, I still don't understand why it did this. Well, they took that all back today. What it is doing is creating huge vacuums and voids in destinations and reference points. And because we're playing against short-term algos, they have to reach them. Now, let's go to the charts and SPY. We'll recap everything else at the end of the week. As far as charts, I'm just going to do the weekly and daily. So yeah, very impressive the way the market really pumped up today. But guess what? We're still one-time framing down in the monthly. The weekly. And we got into the February 8th low, but for now, rejected out of it. Again, is it just because of week longs and shorts? Well, we're going to find out tomorrow, I can tell you that. And then on the daily, by the way, we had a bad tick today. Today's low is 385.31, not 381.73. We did not get anywhere near the 50-day moving average today. Keep this in mind. I'll change it. I should have changed it before the video. I apologize. I'm going to give the bulls their due, even though it was an ugly flush. They're one-time framing up for 3 days. Okay? So if we take out today's high, we should go attempt to take out the weekly high from last week at some point. But if we take out today's low, firmly back into another balance. I hope you had a good day trading today. I hope you have a mentor that can really educate you onto what we're looking for in this market. Anybody could say, I'm long here, I'm short here, I'm short here, I'm long here. That's bullshit. That's not educating the trading room. Anybody can do that. Be with somebody who teaches you how to read market-generated information and how to understand a market, whether it's short-term traders or long-term traders controlling it. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening.